What's going on, YouTube? Listen, back at it again. I thought, everybody's putting out videos about bug out bags. I have one about a bug out bag. Folks are putting out videos about their vehicle EDCs. I have one about vehicle EDCs. And that's going to be updating for 2021. Lots of new EDC. My vehicle, my wife's vehicle. This time for my vehicle EDC, I'm going to tell you specifically where I keep each item. That's more to come. But today I want to talk about your bug out vehicle and the essential items that I keep in my bug out vehicle specifically for bug out. So I think that EDC and bug out are kind of like two different things. For bugging out, you may have seen my family for a bug out bag. If you haven't, I'll make sure I link that up for you. When you're bugging out, your intention is to get to a destination. So your first thought would be to, hunker down, stay home, do what you got to do. But when that's no longer a possibility, you have to go, not only are you going to have your bug out bag, but like what essential items are going to have if you're driving? Because my intent, my first emergency plan for bugging out is my vehicle. And if we need to hoof it, we'll hoof it. I just want to make sure that these items are specific for me. Just because I use them doesn't mean that this is like the minimum standard, which you should use. And if you don't use them, you're crazy and stuff like that. That's not how this goes. Let me get right into it. I'm going to show you the items I keep in mind. All right. So first up on the list, we got the Tiny Survival Guide. Seems a little bit kind of dorky. It has a big brother, but it's just the Tiny Survival Guide. This is a good book, and I keep this book in it's a part of my EDC. But for my bug out bag, I need something, or my bug out vehicle, like the items that are going to be all in there, a little bit smaller of an item. This item is really more important for my wife's vehicle, more so than mine. But it can be important for my vehicle as well. This is a air compressor. It also has a flashlight in the front. So it's really, really nice. It plugs up to the cigarette lighter in your vehicle. The one thing I like about this is, it has the air pressure gauge on it. It has different tips that you can put in here. And if you guys have seen my Horn Blasters video, you know that I have onboard air on my vehicle. The big reason I bought this kit though, because it comes with slime. It comes with slime. It comes with different tips. Next on the list, you've seen this on plenty of different channels, YouTube channels. This is a battery bank. So it has a little flashlight on it. You can charge USB type A plugs here. So if you want to get a quick charge, but the big thing about this is it comes with two things. It comes with laptop cables, right? And it comes with jumper cables. You take these cables here, you plug it into this hole here, and you're able to jump your vehicle. I keep traditional jumper cables in my vehicle. That's a must have. But if I'm, nowhere near another vehicle, or if I want to give somebody a jump and I don't want to pull my truck into an awkward position, this is important. But if I'm bugging out, I may not want to talk to anybody. Yes, you should keep hand tools in your vehicle. That goes without being said. But for me, an important item is going to be some type of handheld power tools. I keep the power tools in my vehicle for a couple of reasons. So these lithium ion batteries, they keep a charge for a very long time. I probably, you're supposed to use your drills every so often. I probably haven't used these drills in 5-6 months. They're still ready to rock. They're only a 12 volt. Turn it on high, pretend like I want to drill something. It has a lot of power for a little 12 volt. Metabo, they make good tools. So I keep a drill driver. I keep an impact. And I also keep a little 12 volt grinder in here. I keep the grinding disc uninstalled. If I need to throw it on there, I have hand tools in my truck as well. But the thing about this grinder is that if we're bugging out, right? If we're going to a destination, my bug out destination has a gated fence. If I get to that destination and I don't have the lock for my gate, I can cut it off with this little 12 volt grinder. I've tested it before. I know it works. So this is just good to have. I can also charge these batteries in my truck. Next on my item that I keep is I keep a type of a machete. I haven't had to use this new one yet. I just got it. One side's good for sawing, one side's good for clearing, and a little protection on the little tip here. I get to my destination. My specific bug out area has definitely has brush, and the further back into my bug out area I go, I know that brush gets thicker and thicker. So I'll be able to use this to clear that as we make our way to that area. It's made by Gerber. Kind of in those same lines of brush. Folding saw, which is good for clearing like small branches or anything like that that may be located on my path, or if I need to make firewood, which when I'm bugging out, I'm avoiding making firewood. When I bug out, our goal is to sleep in our vehicle as much as possible. So for the most part, you know, this folding saw is primarily to help clear anything that may be within our path. This can easily handle a tree trunk or a branch that's less than 3 inches in diameter. You may have seen in my family of 4 bug out bag a Fisker's axe. This is kind of its big brother, right? So this is another Fisker's axe. This one's way heavier. This one has an 8-pound maul on it. So really, really nice heavy duty axe. This one has way more clearing capabilities than the axe that's in my family of 4 bug out bag. Other type of knives that I like to keep with me, you know, so I like to keep a little flip knife, and I like flip knives. I like to play with them. It's kind of fun to do that. But another thing specifically about the flipper part of these knives, so the flipper part on this side, when I flip it out, it actually becomes a finger guard. So if I need to kind of use that for protection or whatever, like it actually become a little finger guard. So that's pretty cool. Pick this up on Amazon. I'll link this up as well. And a fixed blade knife is really good if I'm going to be doing any kind of bushcraft or anything like that. So I have my K-bar. I've had this since I was in the Marines. I used this in Afghanistan. It's been with me for a long time. It has my name engraved on it. But, you know, it is good for self-defense. But also, once again, you know, put my thumb here if I need to use it for self-defense. If I'm using it for crafting anything. So just having different knives with you is really important. Of course, we mentioned this before, emergency radios. I also have a ham radio. It's actually on the charger, but you know, this goes along with my ability to communicate. So, you know, when I bug out, I want to be able to know what's going on around me in the world. Also have a way to get incoming information. So I have an emergency radio. It can get solar power. It also can charge a USB type A once again, and it has a flashlight on the other side. You know, this thing here pumps out it's actually pretty loud, and it holds a charge for a long time. Has a little carabiner on it that's probably useless, but you know, just something good to have as well. You know, I have all sorts of big flashlights. This is just an example of, you know, a headlamp that I would keep as well in my keep a headlamp as well in my bug out kit. This is a little bit different from my get home bag headlamp. The get home bag headlamp, you know, that light is not as bright as this one. So this one is about 300 lumens. It's made by Columbia. The one in my get home bag, it's not as bright. It's older. It's way more reliable. Just a couple of like handheld flashlights as well. I keep those with me. I keep a black light, which is important because I have certain messages written. I have certain codes written at my bug out locations, and it's written in ink that it can only be seen with a black light. So I have black lights with me, regular flashlights with me. You know, I really believe in having some glass with you, right? So I keep a monocular with me. So this is a essential tool for me. You may decide that you want to keep binos with you. I think monocular has a smaller footprint. This is a 10 by 36. It's pretty good, you know, monocular. I use this all the time, actually. This is a part of my EDC for my vehicle, but it also is important for the bug out items for my vehicle as well. It's an essential item. That way I can, as I'm approaching a certain area, or as I'm approaching my my bug out location, I can kind of scope in and see, is it safe to proceed? You know, should we fall back? Should I be prepared to defend myself? So I'll link this up as well. This is made by Solo, really good company. You know, for us, it's important that we sleep in our vehicle as we bug out and avoid getting out the vehicle and trying to do the firewood thing. And yes, I have plenty of fire starter stuff in my bug out bag and in my get home bag. I'm not going to show you anything today that has to do with fire starting. When I'm bugging out my vehicle, I'm trying to stay in my vehicle as long as possible, especially till I get to my destination. This company called Matador, they make these awesome blankets. This thing folds out where this can cover up to 2 people, 4 people can lay on it. It's really, really nice. It's you know, it's not as warm as wool, but I have wool blankets as well that I can bring with me. The reason I keep about 6 of these with me is we can cover up in the vehicle, and they fold down to the smallest size. You can stick this in your pocket. Of course, as you're bugging out, it's important to be able to dig holes, get your vehicle out of a pinch. I'm gonna be by myself. So I have an e-tool. right? So I can use this e-tool for whether I'm going to be actually trying to dig my truck out of a certain precarious situation. You know, it gives me all the leverage I need. This is made by Gerber as well. Really good e-tool. Some pepper gel is something that I think is important as you travel on your journey. This is a lot better than pepper spray, in my opinion. If I'm rolling in our vehicle and someone's approaching our vehicle, they're trying to take our stuff, whatever, I can flip this pin, put my finger in here, just crack my window and spray pepper gel and hopefully keep it from getting on my wife or any of my kids. I have been in CS gas, I've been in gas chambers, especially when I was in the Marine Corps. I've been sprayed with something like this. I think I can take it and continue to drive, but I know, you know, my wife and kids haven't been through anything like this, so I would rather have a bunch of these pepper gels around. Crack the window, spray it, we can keep on going. You know, we're gonna have emergency drinking water, but also just water filtration kits. So, you know, I'm gonna use this canteen here. You know, this thing can hold about 48 ounces. So if I need to walk down to a creek, walk down to a body of water, I can get that water. Then I can use my filtration kit to actually purify that water. The combination of these three things will keep us hydrated at least for those 3 days. So of course, everybody and their mom has 550 cord. A lot of people have 1100 cord, whatever. This is neither of those two. But what this is good for is some twine if I need to tie up tarps, if I need to tie down items, if I'm gonna have extra items on the bed of my truck. You know, it's good to just have a little bit of twine with us versus having to use valuable 550 cord. Next item is a emergency candle. So this emergency candle, it lasts for over 115 hours. So, I mean, that's pretty good burn rate, but I'm gonna use this for two reasons. One, I mean, it burns for a long time, right? Secondly, it's gonna give just enough warmth inside my truck for those nights where if we have to sleep in the vehicle, we can turn off the heater on the truck. We can kind of use a few emergency candles. We can warm our hands. And if you're trying to work outside on your truck, you're trying to work on a whatever, and you don't have the ability to warm your hands, that can really suck. So I know you've seen these items before. I have a whole video that just talks about these Shure cans, these Shure gas cans. I keep this empty. So if we have to bug out, this is empty in the bed of my truck. And if and when we bug out, I'm hopeful I can get 5 gallons of gas from a gas station, but it might not be available, right? But I will have the ability to siphon some gas out of vehicles that may be broken down. Also, the plan would be to keep my Shure can of potable water as well. So this Shure can of potable water, I keep this full. It's not full today because I need to clean it, but I keep this full of water so when we bug out. But now we have potable water in our possession. This is 5 gallons. We can use this at a minimum to wash our hands, boil some water to make some stuff. We can use this while we're traveling versus having to source water from creeks. And then once this is over, it's over. But at least we have the 5 gallons. So another way of self-care is a fire extinguisher. This is going to be mounted in my truck. I already have one mounted in my wife's vehicle. You know, being able to put out a fire yourself is going to be important versus, you know, possibly salvaging your vehicle versus having to wait for authorities who may never come. This fire extinguisher it's good for more than one chemical. It's good for paper, liquids, electrical fires, and it's also DOT rated. So it's designed to be mounted in a vehicle. It can be shooken around in a truck, stuff like that. All right, so next, after our fire extinguisher, of course, I'm going to have med kits, right? So I have a med kit that's a part of my bug out bag, my family 4 bug out bag. You've seen that before. I have a med kit on my get home bag. You've seen that before. I know you're watching these videos. So I have different med kits. They're all similar. They all have the similar makeup on this side of every single med kit, but this side of the med kit is different. This med kit specifically has a little bit of fire starter. It has a paracord wristband. You know, it has a little bit of the flint. It has a flashlight with a battery. The battery's kept away from it. And so as soon as I need it, slip that in there. I'm ready to rock. I can tell when I'm missing items, right? So somebody used some gauze. No, I'm gonna have to restock that. I also keep a card, and this card has all our blood types on it. It has my address on it, has our first and last names, so it gives us some information as well. So, the EDC weapon that you may carry, that's usually something smaller. It's a 9, it's it's a 40, might be a 380. But for me, my EDC weapon is normally a 380. But when it's time to bug out, I need something a little bit more powerful. So when it's time to bug out, a few of the weapons I'm going to take with me here. One of them is going to be a 45 1911 by Colt. This is an airweight. This is one of the lightest 1911s that they make. So great weapon to have. Has a lot of put down power for somebody that's in close range. I feel comfortable putting somebody down here at about 30 yards, no issues. However, once that person is more than 30 yards away, put down, it can be done with the 45. But as that round begins to drop, who wants to do the math and figure out, am I going to hit them? My hands are shaky or whatever. I prefer to bring with me an Armalite AR-10, shoot 7.62. It also can, the thing about Armalite, they're the original manufacturers of the AR-10. So there's a lot of companies making AR-10s. They make it right. I've had this weapon for going over 12 years now. It's just a phenomenal weapon. Only time this weapon fails me is when I have bad rounds. As long as I have good rounds, this thing's always rocking and rolling. Has a great rail system, has a good scope on it by Alpen. And I love my little pistol grip. It's only a little flare on here. I have adjustable buttstock here. So I can attach different slings if I wanted to. I kind of like the old school sling that you kind of just loop over your shoulder. You can carry with you. Has a great compressor on it to kind of reduce muzzle flash, so I can continue to shoot and fire and have no issues. This thing is awesome because it shoots 7.62, but it also can shoot 308. So as everybody else is running around with their AR-15s, they're shooting 5.56 rounds, they're shooting 2.23s. Maybe their AR-15 is modified and they can shoot 300 blackout or 454 or whatever. I just feel like I would have a higher likelihood, although it's harder to find 7.62 rounds. 308 rounds are pretty common. And, so as I'm going around and I'm trying to barter, if you've seen my bartering video, I'm trying to barter for some rounds that I need. It's more likely that someone will want to barter 7.62, especially 7.62 by 51, which this shoots, whereas an AK-47 normally shoots 7.62 by 39. So this is just something that's going to be good in my arsenal. So what do you think? What do you keep in your bug out vehicle? Right? Do you just use your EDC items? Do you have specific items in a specific place for a bug out? Leave some comments below. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that like button. It's going to help me as I grow and I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. It's a slow process, but I can appreciate that. Look forward to making a video about not only just bugging out, but other things that go around a bug out bag. Not just the bag itself, but specific items in a bug out vehicle. Do you have an emergency plan for your bug outs? Who you going to let know that you bugged out? Is it going to be a complete secret? Are you going to go gray? Gray meaning like, are you just going to intend to blend in? I drive a lifted truck. That's not an unusual thing in Texas, right? So I can still go gray in Texas with a lifted truck. I can also kind of source parts from other lifted trucks that may be broken down, so forth and so on, right? But if I lived in Washington, D.C., or if I lived somewhere else with this big lifted truck, I scream, that guy's prepared. And I might not want to use that as a bug out vehicle. So what do you use as a bug out vehicle? That's something else you got to think about. So my next video is coming up. I talked about the 2021 EDC, breaking down where everything is located. I'm also going to bring you specific things I do for my bug out emergency plan. So, that's going to be, what do I print off? What do I laminate? Where do I keep my stuff? Who do I contact? Who's going to know where I am? Those are important things as well when you're bugging out. Not just simply going off into the woods and just trying to survive. It's bigger picture than that. So until next time, please go ahead and hit the subscribe. It's going to be some more good stuff to come. I'll see y'all soon.